Is it finally time to cut Dan Bailey? Now, a few weeks ago, Dan Bailey was coming off of his worst season of his worst game of his career. Dan Bailey was looking like me. That's how I would look if I was a kicker. That's how Dan Bailey was looking. Dan Bailey is one of the highest paid kickers in the NFL. That's the reason why the Minnesota Vikings took him. We had to move on from Daniel Carlson. He had a bad game. Okay, I guess we didn't have to, but he had a really bad game. And this was when the Minnesota Vikings took him and he was a rookie. And this is when they moved on from Kai Forbath. The Minnesota Vikings have had an awful history of kickers. We moved on from Kai Forbath, who's looking great right now with the Houston Texans. We moved on from him. We brought in Daniel Carlson, got rid of him, and now he's looking good. Everybody looks good when they're not in the Minnesota Vikings uniform. When they're in the Vikings uniform, they look bad. And this is going to happen with Dan Bailey once again. We're going to get rid of Dan Bailey, and he's going to look good wherever he goes. I can tell you that right now because that's what's going to happen, because that's how the Minnesota Vikings are cursed at kicker. Anyways, the Minnesota Vikings, Dan Bailey. We're going to look at this season as a whole before I talk about this. We're going to look at the season as a whole. 68% of field goal percentage, or 68 field goal percentage. That's bad. That is really bad. 86 extra point percentage. 86% on extra point attempts. Dan Bailey is getting paid $2.7 million to only make 68% of field goals and 86 on extra point attempts. You look at it. Take away chip shots. When I say chip shots, everything under 30 yards should be a guarantee field goal. Now, Dan Bailey has hit 100% under 30 yards at field goals. Fine. Good. That's what you're supposed to do. Take away all of his chip shot field goals. All of the kicks that he made under 30 yards. Take those away. Dan Bailey is kicking at 40% on field goal attempts. 40. He's making less than half of his field goals when you take away the chip shot guarantee field goals. From over 30 yards, he is kicking at 40% on field goal attempts. This Minnesota Vikings on fourth down this 2020 season converted on 52% of fourth down. This is saying that the Minnesota Vikings on fourth down are better than going for it on fourth down than using Dan Bailey, as Dan Bailey is only hitting 40%, and the Minnesota Vikings are converting on 52. We are better off going for it on fourth down every time than using Dan Bailey. In the 2021 season, the Minnesota Vikings, this 2020 offseason, the last offseason, extended Dan Bailey through the 2022 season, and now is expected to make $2.75 million in the 2021 season, and is guaranteed $6 million of that money. Now, we can cut Dan Bailey right now, and it won't save us a whole lot of money, as Dan Bailey is guaranteed $6 million. It will only save us $1 million in cap space, but honestly, it is worth it, because you can use that money and find any free agent kicker that will perform better than Dan Bailey. Dan Bailey has been great. We have seen that. But at this point, it is time to move on. Because after a season like that, you cannot continue to pay this guy this much money. And it won't save us a whole lot if you cut him. It'll only save us $1 million in cap space. But just about anybody at this point is better than Dan Bailey. Now, I know he's great. He's been great. This 2020 season, though, does not deserve another season in purple and gold. You got to find a new free agent kicker and just stick with them. If you stuck with Kai Forbath, you'd be a lot better off right now. If you stuck with Daniel Carlson, you'd be a lot better off right now. Instead, you moved on and wanted to pay the kicker $2.7 million a year and is looking like this, shooting from 40% from over 30 yards. We got to move on from Dan Bailey. Basically, anybody can be his replacement. You can take anybody, someone off the streets. Look what the Bears did. After the double doink, they cut their guy, brought in Carlos Santos, however you say his name. They brought in their new guy, and now he's looking good. Just some random free agent guy. Use a bunch of guys to practice. As a matter of fact, I would not cut Dan Bailey right now. I would not cut him right now. I'd first find his replacement and then cut him. Because you still have him under one more year. Whether he's with the Vikings or not, you still have to pay him for one more year, and you have to pay him $175 million for this next year, and it's going to be really hard against this Minnesota Vikings cap space, as we are already in expected to be negative $5.5 million in cap. This is going to be bad, but this saves us a little bit of money and will help in the long run. Don't cut Dan Bailey yet. Find his replacement and then move on.